Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So this year, one of my New Year's resolution is to sew more clothing for myself. I normally only sew like accessories and clothes for my son. So for this video, I'm gonna sew this set right here that I saw on Etsy. It looks simple enough, so stay tuned. The pattern that I'm using is called the Clover Set. I bought it from this shop on Etsy. The pattern is super cute. It's a shirt and a skirt set. The shirt has a tie closure. It also has these really cute flare sleeves and a collar. And the skirt is actually a mini skirt. The pattern calls for a lightweight type of fabric for it, so I'm using this crepe type fabric that I actually got sent by Joanne last year. RIP Joanne. I miss that store so much. I didn't realize how much I took it for granted until it was gone. But you know what they say, you never know what you got until it's gone. I'm actually not a big fan of this fabric pattern. It's actually pretty boring to me. If y'all know me, I love colors, so I actually almost got rid of this fabric. I almost gave it away, but I'm so happy I kept it because I was able to use it to practice this new pattern. So for any of y'all that's thinking about donating or giving away the fabric you don't like, just keep it unless you're hoarding. If you're hoarding, go ahead and give it away. But this ended up being the perfect amount of fabric for this project. Like I said before, the skirt for this pattern is a super mini, so I ended up adding about 3 inches just to give myself a little bit more coverage. So after cutting out all those pattern pieces, the back of the top has darts in it, so I have to make sure that I mark those darts and then I pin them in place before I sew them. I like to hold up my fabric to the light just so I can make sure both sides of the darts are connected, and then I pin them in place before I sew. And when you're sewing the darts, of course you want to make sure you're sewing on the wrong side of your fabric. And remove those pins as you go, you don't want to have an accident. Here I'm prepping my collar piece to sew. It took me about 30 to 45 minutes to cut out all the pattern pieces. Cutting fabric is like my least favorite thing to do, but you have to do it if you're sewing, right? After pinning the 2 collar pieces together, I went ahead and sewed around the perimeter, but I left the bottom part open so we can flip it right side out later. After sewing that collar, I went ahead and clipped the edges and then I trimmed some of the excess fabric. That way it's not bulky when I flip it right side out. I think this is the easiest skirt pattern that I've ever made. So it's literally just the front and the back panel. So after I put them right sides together, I'm going to take them over to my sewing machine and then just sew the 2 side seams together and put it to the side to the end. The front of the top actually opens up. Like I told y'all before, there's a tie closure, so it's 3 ties to close it shut. But the front 2 panels are actually 2 different panels sewn together. So in total, the front should be 4 separate pieces. Here I'm just pinning those pieces together and then I'm gonna go over to my sewing machine and sew them down. When you're sewing these front panels, you're sewing around curves, so you wanna take your time and make sure that everything's matching up as you sew. And as always, I'm going to go through and trim some of that excess seam allowance. I'm using my pinking shears here so it has like a nice finished edge. So this next step is arguably the most important, but a lot of people skip this step. So after sewing all of your seams, you want to go through and iron them flat. This is what's going to be the difference between your garment looking professional and it looking handmade. Again, there's nothing wrong with it looking handmade, but a lot of people skip the ironing step and they wonder why their sewing projects don't turn out right. You always want to iron in between steps or iron before sewing 2 sewn pieces together, if that makes sense. So all of these pieces I've sewn together, but they're not connected to another one, so I saved the ironing until it was time for me to start sewing the body of the garment together. So around this time, I was starting to lose daylight a little bit, so I was trying to hurry up and sew as much as I could before then. Here I'm sewing those 2 front pieces to the back of the shirt at the shoulder seams. After I do that, I went ahead and added the sleeves. So when you're adding sleeves, my favorite thing to do is to take your sleeve and connect it at one end of the armhole and then connect it at the other end, then start easing it in towards the center. Just like those shirt front pieces earlier, the sleeves have a curve, so always take your time when you're sewing the sleeves on. After adding on the sleeve, it's time to sew the side seams together. So to do this, I'm going to connect both of the bottom pieces and the sleeve, and I'm going to sew from the very bottom of the shirt all the way around the armhole to the bottom of the sleeve. And I'm going to do that on both sides. So at this point, I was losing daylight, so I had to stop filming soon. Here, I wanted to see what the shirt started to look like, and as you can see, it's really coming together. The shape is coming along, and I actually started to like the fabric a little bit. So at this point of the day, I was already losing daylight, and my son wanted some attention, so I had to take a break, and I ended up finishing this outfit a little bit after 10 p.m. So this is the next day with the completed outfit. It turned out super cute. So at that night, I ended up adding the collar to it. I added the ties. I finished the seams on the sleeves, the hem of the shirt, the hem of the skirt, and I added a little bit of elastic around the waistband of the skirt just to make sure that it's nice and snug. I'm really happy that I made this New Year's resolution to sew more because I really wanted to hone my skills and get better, but also I wanted to make clothes for myself that actually made me feel good. The beauty of sewing your own clothes is you can really make something that's personalized to you. So I love the way this pattern looked when I looked at it on Etsy. The only thing I didn't like was that it only goes up to a size 24. And as you know, if you sew, the sizing is a little bit off. You never really want to go off of what the actual size says. You want to go off of your measurements. So normally I wear around a size 16 and most things extra large, sometimes 1X depending. But in this one for the top, I had to wear a size 24 because I'm big in the chest area, if you couldn't tell. And then for the skirt, I think I did a size 20. So hopefully they expand their size range a little bit more because for me, I shouldn't be the biggest size in your sewing pattern range. After trying it on, I love the way it looks. I love the way the collar looks. The collar is optional, so if you don't want it, you don't have to get it. And I went with the extra flare sleeve because I love the way it looked with the silhouette of the outfit. I love the top. Now the skirt I wasn't a huge fan of. Like I said before, I added 3 inches to the skirt, so if I didn't add 3 inches, it would be super short. That looks good on some people, but I don't like it on me. This is what the shirt looks like with jeans. I love the way this looks too. I can't wait to make this outfit again, but I think instead of the skirt that it came with, I'm gonna use a different skirt pattern. I can also see this looking good with some matching pants, capris, or even some shorts. Thank you guys for watching. This is a different style video for me, so I was kind of nervous. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. As always, don't forget to like and subscribe, and thanks for watching. Bye!